One of the most common questions that I often get asked is how to tell which rug is better. My first answer is the one that appeals to you most and you like best is the right one. Not everybody's taste in furnishing is the same. Do not be persuaded by a famous name or price as long as it is within your budget, as the one that you like may be a lot less expensive than you think. However, the main factor that determines the price, apart from obvious ones like density, silk and wool, are design and color. Let's not forget that rugs are decorative items, and as such, when certain design themes are in fashion, then it can affect their price greatly. For instance, if the fashion is minimalistic, then the price of plain and simple rugs would go up, and the more complicated ones will be reduced in price. The same thing applies to color. For a while, navy blue was not in vogue, and these rugs came down in price by a noticeable factor. And now that the demand seems to be increasing, the prices are beginning to go up again. Then it is the quality of wool and dyes. A good quality hand-spun wool with long yarn will take the dye a lot better, and the color will be deeper than a low quality wool or even what we call dead wool. Just because wool is soft, it does not make it suitable for carpet purposes. Large production of Pakistani carpets use New Zealand wool, which feels very soft, but after you have walked on it for a year or so, the wool breaks or loses its shape. Consequently, the design loses its definition. A good hand-spun wool through aging will become softer and stronger as it is walked on, and the twist from the spinning becomes tighter. This is why fine antique pieces have wool that feels velvety to touch. I don't want to go too much into this subject as it will take too long. Let me try and show you by way of examples the difference that you would be able to see yourself with a bit of attention. These pieces are both Qashqais. One is about 20 years old with machine spun wool and chemical dyes. And this one is about 100 years old with natural dyes and hand spun wool. There's no real depth to the colors in this one. The quality of the wool I cannot really show you, but it feels a lot drier, and the antique one, which has a better quality of wool, has a lot more sheen. The next thing is the design. This one has animal motifs with the deer head, and this one has a more flowing design and a soft design, and the price of this one is 4 times the price of this one. And if we look at the next two, this is a 40-year-old Baluch, and this one is over 100 years old. While it has a lot less wool than the newer one, but it has more sheen and a really good depth of color. The clarity in design that you see is due to the good weave. I suppose you can look at carpets like digital photos that are made of pixels. Every knot is a pixel. The more there are, the more clear the design. But with carpets, because they're woven by hand, it is also putting the pixels in the right places to achieve a clearer picture, which is what a good weaver can do even with a lower pixel. Also, the finer a carpet, that means more knots in a given area. The more work and material has gone into it and can obviously affect the price. But if the design and color are not right, then the whole value of the workmanship will be affected adversely. And then the much higher knot density will not count for that much. There are obviously other factors which require much deeper knowledge and expertise, like rarity. If you look at these two pieces, they're both from the same province, but this one is 3 times the price of this one because of the quality of the wool and the very unusual color that you can see. So the basic rule is, if the carpet is a city weave, there should be good definition and symmetry, if that is what the design is supposed to be, as opposed to one that is one directional. This is not a one-directional carpet, obviously, and you can see it's a very fine city weave. If it is a village piece, then the change in color and some lack of symmetry can be a good characteristic, a charming characteristic, and in some cases can add to the value, as you can see with something like this, which doesn't have that sort of symmetry. If they are nomadic, then quirky is what makes it interesting, as they are the product of weaver's imagination and have not been woven from a design on a graph paper. So the precision is not what you expect, or in some cases is not even desired. As you can see in a piece like this, which is an antique gabe, and there is really no symmetry. You have wavy lines, and it is, as I said, from a weaver's imagination. Finally, needless to say, a reputable dealer is an important factor, as they will take you through the process to make sure that you buy the right piece for you.